Please video like and subscribe this channel. The Palace of Ardent Hold had never fallen. Not to famine. Not to rebellion. Not even to the orbital bombardments that had shattered entire continents during the first years of the Interstellar War. Built into the ribs of a black mountain, Ardent Hold was more fortress than palace, layer upon layer of reinforced stone, alloy, and ancient alien architecture older than humanity's first radio signal. Its walls drank in energy blasts and shrugged them off. Its shield generators were buried so deep that even precision strikes couldn't reach them. For 5 years, it stood as the last symbol of human resistance on the planet Charon 9. And I was one of the soldiers assigned to die inside it. My name is Captain Elias Rowe, 3rd Defensive Legion. When Command posted us to Ardent Hold, everyone knew what it meant. You weren't sent there to win. You were sent there to hold. To delay the inevitable long enough for evacuations elsewhere. The alien Dominion had already taken the skies. Their fleets blotted out stars. Their armies marched across continents with biomechanical precision. Every city they touched either surrendered or burned. But Ardent Hold remained. Until she arrived. The first sign wasn't the bombardment. It was the silence. Dominion forces were never quiet. Their war engines screamed through the atmosphere. Their drones buzzed like metallic insects. Their artillery sang before it killed you. But that morning, the sensors showed nothing moving. No troop formations. No aerial units. No signal chatter. Just emptiness. I stood on the western battlements with my lieutenant, Mara Chen, scanning the horizon through magnified optics. The ash plains stretched endlessly, scarred by old battles. Smoke drifted lazily in the distance. This feels wrong, Mara muttered. Everything about this war feels wrong, I replied. Command says. She shook her head. No updates. Just standby. That's when the shields flickered. Once. Twice. Every soldier in Ardent Hold felt it, a shudder through the stone beneath our boots. Alarms didn't blare. Systems didn't fail. The shields bowed. Impossible, Mara whispered. Those shields absorbed a planetary lance last year. I opened a channel to Central Command. Row to control. Shield fluctuation detected. Repeat, fluct. The ground answered before Command could. A pressure wave rippled across the plains, flattening debris and kicking up a wall of dust that rolled toward us like a living thing. Not an explosion, something arriving. Then we saw her. She descended alone. No ship. No escort. Just a towering figure stepping through the thinning dust as if gravity itself bent around her will. She stood over 3 meters tall, clad in segmented obsidian armor etched with glowing crimson lines that pulsed like a heartbeat. A massive blade rested against her shoulder, its edge humming with contained energy. Her helmet was open, revealing a face that was unmistakably alien and terrifyingly calm. Golden eyes locked onto the palace. The War Queen had arrived. Her name echoed through every surviving channel moments later. Veilrix. The Dominion's executioner. The breaker of sieges. The one sent only when surrender was no longer an option. I had heard stories. Every soldier had. Entire fortresses reduced to rubble within hours of her arrival. Armies routing without firing a shot. Commanders kneeling before they even realized they were doing it. But I'd never believed them. Until she raised her hand. She didn't shout. Didn't gesture dramatically. She simply closed her fist. The shields screamed. Light fractured across the palace dome as the generators overloaded, ancient systems pushed beyond limits they were never designed to face. Power surged through conduits. Stone cracked. Metal groaned. She's crushing the shield field manually, Mara said, her voice barely steady. With her own biofield. Open fire, I ordered. All batteries. Now. The palace answered. Rail cannons thundered. Missile pods roared. Plasma lances tore through the sky toward the solitary figure. Veelrix didn't move. The projectiles slowed. Stopped. Then fell, clattering harmlessly against the ground at her feet. She looked disappointed. With a single step forward, the shield collapsed. Not exploded. Not shattered. Collapsed. The air rushed inward as if the palace itself exhaled its final breath. And the unbreakable fortress was suddenly naked. The Dominion army advanced only after she entered the gates. Veelrix didn't rush. She walked through the massive doors as they peeled open under invisible force. Every defender who stood in her path froze, not paralyzed by technology, but by instinct. Something in her presence told your body that resistance was meaningless. Still, we fought. Corridor by corridor. Room by room. Human soldiers against Dominion elites who followed their queen with fanatical devotion. I lost Mara near the eastern stairwell. A plasma bolt caught her mid-turn. She didn't even scream. I kept moving. Because that's what soldiers do when everything else is gone. I found Veelrix in the throne chamber. The ancient human banners still hung from the walls, torn and burning. Bodies lay everywhere, human and alien alike. She stood at the center, blade planted into the stone floor, surveying the devastation like an artist studying a finished painting. I raised my rifle. It shook in my hands. You're the last officer, she said, without turning. Her voice was deep, resonant, carrying an authority that vibrated in my bones. Captain Elias Rowe. I stiffened. You know my name. I know all names that matter, she replied, finally facing me. Her golden eyes studied me not with hatred, but curiosity. This palace was impressive. You came personally, I spat. Because we wouldn't fall. A faint smile touched her lips. Exactly. I fired. The shot dissipated inches from her chest. She didn't even flinch. Instead, she stepped closer. Each footstep echoed like a drumbeat. Do you know why I was sent? She asked calmly. To kill us, I said. No, she corrected. To end you. Killing is easy. Ending requires understanding. She stopped a few feet away. Close enough that I could see faint scars beneath her armor, proof that even a war queen had once bled. You held longer than any projection, she continued. Your people fought beyond acceptable loss ratios. You inspired resistance elsewhere. Then do it, I said, forcing my voice steady. End us. Her gaze lingered on the shattered banners. On the fallen soldiers. On me. This palace would not fall, she said slowly, because it was not built on stone. It was built on defiance. She lifted her blade. Then, unexpectedly, she reversed it and planted it deeper into the floor. I will not annihilate it, she said. I will claim it. I stared. What? Ardent Hold will stand, Veelrix declared. As a Dominion stronghold. A reminder of what resistance becomes. And us? I asked. She studied me again. Longer this time. You, she said, will live. The war didn't end that day. But everything changed. The fall of Ardent Hold sent shockwaves across the galaxy not because it fell, but because how it fell. The War Queen had intervened personally. The Dominion shifted strategy. Negotiations began elsewhere. I was taken prisoner. Not tortured. Not executed. Observed. Veelrix visited my cell more than once. We spoke of war. Of leadership. Of what it meant to hold power and when to release it. You could have destroyed everything, I told her once. Yes, she agreed. But destruction breeds endless enemies. Symbols end wars faster. And I'm part of your symbol. Her eyes softened, just slightly. You are part of the reason I paused. Months later, a ceasefire was signed. Ardent Hold still stands. Scarred. Changed. But standing. And somewhere in its highest tower, the War Queen watches the stars not as a conqueror, but as a ruler who learned that even the strongest palace does not fall to force alone. Sometimes, it falls because someone chooses not to crush it.